Nidalee support is a super niche pick that has had a high win rate for lots of patches. Her support build is an enchanter setup with Airy, Emax into the classic Helia Moonstone Dawn core. Yo, what's up guys? Is Nidalee support actually good? I've been asked this question and trying to figure it out myself because she has had a very high win rate consistently on almost every patch. Granted, it is very few games, but I think that she is probably one of those champs that are very niche, but just very overtuned. I think there's a new class of supports that are like this. They are going to be the Elise, Poppy, Old Camille of supports where they were kind of designed for one role, but they have very high base stats, and when they're thrown into support, they kind of overperform. Thing with Elise is that the only thing really makes her overtuned is her E. So her E is an insane attack speed buff that lasts for 7 seconds, and it heals just so much based on the percent missing health. And I think because it's so overtuned, people are running her as an enchanter. They're going the Helia Moonstone build, and the heals are actually like really crazy. I think on top of that, her damage is like not as crazy as someone like Elise, but I think it's just the fact that she can transform and she has more skills available to her at any point of the game is what makes her very strong. So I think the strong points of Nidalee is her strong early game, and then it starts transitioning into just how strong she is or how strong her heals are. I think her W is also a great ability for support. Just the trap placements and having them able to check bushes for you is also just very a great skill to have as support because it helps you get around the map and just ward. This game, I went Airy. My runes are a little different from the runes that I showed because this is like, I'm kind of just like testing them, but essentially instead of going greens, I'm going Inspiration Secondary just because I really like the boots and triple tonic secondary on enchanters now after the buff to triple tonic. And also for the rune shards, I went Adaptive Force, but looking back, I should have gone CDR and movement speed with flat health just because they also buffed the movement speed shard as well. So off the bat here, I am going W start. I think that W start probably is her best start. I think most people start Q, but Q is, it's really hard to land just Qs straight up in lane. So I think W just gives you more pressure in lane. And yeah, so starting off the game, I'm trying to, we start off with kind of an awkward 5-point. I run into the river, run into Twitch and Zillion, and then I get chunked out, so I'm a bit late to lane. My game plan when I do come to lane is to get that prio early. So I'm playing Yunara Nidalee into Twitch Zillion. Oh, also another thing, if you are playing Nidalee support, you definitely want to be paired with an AD carry that an auto-based AD carry because your E just gives so much attack speed. Unfortunately, I am late to lane. I think I also should have started sweeper just because I know I can get that prio because I'm very strong. So here the strong point of Nidalee is definitely her autos. As you can see, I'm just like autoing and I could really just do so much damage. Once I get the control of the bush, like I can just abuse the movement speed that I get from the bush passive. So I actually throw my ward down here because I thought I had sweeper. If I had sweeper there, like I would have so much more pressure, but I start E level 2 just because we are chunked. I see that Graves is going to invade on this push wave, which is perfect for us. This is like one of the best ways you can use prio in the early game, just stacking a wave and then going to invade. So I do see that Graves and Talon are there. I'm moving up here. I put a trap over on this wall because I don't have a ward and I want to give vision. I see that Victor is also moving here, but I am not afraid of this fight. We're very strong. I go in between these bombs. Trying to do my best, but I am chunked waiting for my cooldowns. Graves does pick off Zillion, and I E Yunara. I'm pretty chunked, but it's fine to... It's I know that it's okay for me to be low and kind of bait the enemy because my E heals based off of percent missing health. So that's why like I'd rather stay low and try to like bait myself than to just heal myself here and then just to hold my E. So we get first blood off Zilean. I am going Amped Home first. Normally when you are playing an enchanter, I think if you're going Moonstone or Helia, Ruby Crystal is the way to go most of the time, but I think in a lane like double ranged, Amped Home is good if you know you can bully them out. One thing about Zilean is that his early game is super weak, so it's very easy to just bully him in lane, and honestly you should be bullying him because that is like his biggest weakness. So I get level 3 here, I immediately pop my Elixir of Avarice, and Graves is topside. So I think Nidalee is very strong in the early game, so you'll see here I'm just like kind of sending it. But one weak point of Nidalee is kind of her mid game when you don't really have a lot of, you don't have any CC, so it's like kind of an awkward point of the game because you're not at that point where your heals are very strong and your damage is kind of falling off. But you can see me getting pretty... trying to have a lot of presence in lane, just walking up. Again, Q is like very hard to land on Nidalee. So it's like, if the player is good, you're pretty much never going to just be able to get a free Q like this. You kind of have to throw it out of fog. And I kind of realized this halfway through laning phase. Okay, so we get Talon walks down. We do have Graves coming. Did overextend a little bit, but yeah, Talon just kind of walked by a ward. Got my W there on the trap, on the bush, and we are able to see Talon kind of walk by, but that was a little silly. I should have respected the Talon a little bit more. Yeah, I end up dying. I want to walk mid here, but I know our wave is really bad. You can see me panning my camera. Generally, most supports kind of go roam after they reset, but here, like, I can't because I died, like, just without really having my wave pushed in or pushed out. Get the Q from Fog. I jump in here. Your Q is an execute, so it does more damage the lower the enemy is. So you always want to try to end with Q if you can. Talon is really low, Zilean is really low. I need to shove this wave out. Otherwise, we lose. It saves the wave for the enemy. I get a nice spear there, but not enough to kill Zilean. I'm calling for Zilean. I'm calling for Graves here because I know that Twitch is alone. I think it would have been worth to catch Twitch as he's rotating, but Graves doesn't come. He goes for Dragon instead, which is fine too. So then after I push in the wave, I just go back to Dragon. I'm taking note that grubs are in 40 and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. This wave is going to bounce back towards us, so I know that Yunara can farm safely. I have kind of a lot of gold, so take the reset here. I am looking for Bandoglass Mirror and I grab a control ward. I think when you are going for grub fight, generally I always say this, but I don't buy control wards if I'm playing like an enchanter in lane unless I have a lot of prio. But I think for the grub fight, it's actually okay to get a control ward just because controlling C-Bush or just the area around it can be the difference, can give you a really huge advantage when you are taking grubs. So I saw that the enemy support was topside, which kind of gives me the signal that I don't need to walk immediately down. We do see Talon walking here. I'm kind of scaring him off. I'm setting up for Graves. Because he walks away, I'm assuming that Zilean just walked back as well, because he showed topside, but he's not like in the river. And so because I know that and I scared Talon away, I just immediately walk back now because I know Graves can take this alone. So trying to zone out Zilean. Just look at how much damage I'm doing with my W and Q. I think another strong point of Nidalee is just her mobility. So it's like really hard for... You can play super forward with Nidalee and yeah, be fine because your W is just such a great movement tool. At this point, Graves is bot side. Yunara 6, Zilean is 5. This is just another point where... Another important part of the game where you spike level 5, level 6. You should always be aware. So that is kind of like the movement stuff I was talking about, where Zilean pretty much can't get a double bomb on me because my W, doesn't matter if I'm slowed, I can just jump out of the bombs. Whereas most of the time, Zilean can get double bomb if you are slowed. So this almost feels like a really niche counter to Zilean. Graves is bot side. Oh yeah, one important thing is like the way I'm using W on bushes here. So I'm placing W's right towards the enemy because if they were to enter the bush, they would walk into the trap. Also, I'm using it to check bushes. I don't know if Talon is here. So I'm using my W to check the bushes. Again, I'm just getting a lot of autos in. Airy is also really nice for this reason. On top of it, just giving a shield when you heal, it works on your autos. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of value from the damage portion, and that will switch to the... I'll get more value out of it in the shield portion once I transition into the mid game, and I become more of a healer. Like my heals become big. So we're just kind of chilling. We have a lot of control in lane. There's my trap that catches Talon. I wait to heal until I get chunked out, so I'll heal more. And we successfully dodge the gank from help from my trap and my big heal. So I have 3 points in E now. I'm like slowly amping up. I back perfectly for my Helia, and now I am just very, very strong. So one of the important things of Helia for Nidalee and any enchanter is just making sure you stack your shards before you heal. You're gonna want to really auto a lot. Try to auto a lot before you heal to get the max value of the item. See Talon here, get a Q off. I don't know if he saw Veigar or if he saw me, but he just dips right after. And Dragon's coming up, so I'm playing with Graves here to try to set up. Put the ward down to see this control ward. Accidentally walk into the trap there. I put down more traps, get the ward down. I want to help Yunara push out bot before we go do this dragon. See Talon come through C-Bush. I have my trap on him. Again, trap placement there. Very, very important. You catch a lot of people rotating into the bush that way. As opposed to it being like deeper in. It's like on the edge. Successfully zone out the enemy. I see that Talon is mid. I want to push this out before I rotate. Wave is not good for us because it's pushing into the enemy. Zilean catches Yunara here, sitting behind the bush. We need to play this a bit slowly. I can't jump in because I know Zilean has ult. My E is up in literally 0 seconds, which is so unfortunate because if... Yeah, so I typed to Yunara, we just need to play a bit slower and play around my E, because if I just had 1 second off the E, we win that for sure. Because again, the heal just gives a crazy attack speed buff to Yunara, and then also it would get the 2 stacks of my Helia, and my E works off of increases based on percent missing health, and it would have chunked Yunara was very chunked there, so it would have gave a lot. I see Talon is going into our jungle. So I want to follow up, but I realize I'm going to get sandwiched here. So I jump out. Look at this heal. 234 HP. Ginormous. Getting my traps off. I don't know what Talon is doing here. He just kind of griefs it. Give him the thumbs up. Great job. Thanks for the freebie. I E Yunara because I want to just take a recall. Make sure to walk this wave in. This is the point where I sort of fall off. Yeah, this is the point where I was saying earlier how I feel like it's a little awkward where I don't really have a lot of setup. Even though we are stronger than the enemy bot lane, I can't really like take an engage to like go for something like that. So here, Twitch just kind of jumps on us. I get the spear off. WEQ, always finish Q at the end if you can, to get that execute. And then we kind of just stomp them here. But yeah, it just feels very... Once you're past like a certain point, your laning doesn't feel as oppressive. I think Nidalee starts to really shine once you are in team fights because of how crazy your heal is. At this point, I'm trying to set up the Herald. Just breaking vision cones. Oh, when you are playing Nidalee, you want to just like slide in bushes to maximize your passive to move around the map faster. I see Varus is here. I don't want to Cougar form and go out just because if he is recalling, I wouldn't be able to cancel it. This was very awkward. Yeah, I could have flashed. I wasn't sure if we wanted to take this dive, but as I was thinking that, Varus just kind of ulted my face and then I just ate the tower. So kind of, I don't know if we could have pushed the top wave in because it was neutral and it was a cannon. So it was like pretty awkward. I don't know if that was worth it, but yeah. I reset. I am pinging to be careful Yunara bot because we are on grubs and we don't know, it's not being contested, so Talon is most likely on the other side of the map to trade that play. I walk in here. Zillion is just slowing me. Trying to take control of this bush. I see that there's a fight breaking on Raptors, so I know that Talon's not going to be here. I want to rotate over, but the fight is over, and then I'm taking the honey fruit. Graves is coming, so I'm just kind of like walking forward here. E goes to Narnia. Yeah, we're taking this fight. I'm spamming E on Yunara here. Look at that heal. Absolutely insane. I probably healed like 400, 500 off of my E and Helia, and then we just kind of wiped them. Push into the enemy to take everything. We have Herald going down. And yeah, at this point, like, the game is over. They FF. And so that was the Nidalee game. I think that Nidalee is honestly pretty strong, but I wouldn't say she's like S tier. I would say she's like A tier. She has like a nice early game that transitions into... She scales really well, but she is missing that like mid game where, because she lacks so much CC, and I think most enchanters have a CC to not feel that bad, but it's definitely made up by her early game. Yeah, try out Nidalee if you haven't. She's a lot of fun. She's hard to play, but there is a lot of potential for her.